after a couple-week hiatus, we are back of no fault of our own. Also, I got an orange iPhone, and I have to tell you, this right here looks like the Master Chief, and I think I'm okay with it. Like it's a green case and the orange top, and all I can see is John 117 every time I pick it up, and I think I'm okay with it. I might need to change the case, but yeah.
Yeah, I think Master Chief would use an Android, or I guess like a Windows phone.
He probably uses a Windows phone.
If we're staying with branding, so yeah.
I mean, because he, Cortana. Did he invent Cortana? I know he was like, he didn't invent it. I guess it was Halsey who invented Cortana.
Didn't invent it. No,
the Halo lore runs deep. Actually, it's funny. We in our welcome to the Roundtable, already in progress, as you can see. We were talking, we're opening a table. Pastor Dalton Druzy in Lux Digital Church is opening a table for after our church services on Wednesday nights for Halo, which is great. We're going to play the Master Chief Collection. We'll end up playing, Firefight and all that other stuff. And I was getting into it in our co-working about the Halo lore. I used to... I was an MLG ranked pro, which doesn't mean a whole lot, back for Halo 2 and Halo 3. And so I used to play competitively. And, we'd go to tournaments. We won like maybe a tournament or two. We were never that good, but it was always fun just to be in the scene. But I got really into Halo lore, and I realized that Halo lore, in that conversation, Halo lore is actually better than like Destiny lore, or it's better than like most other lores. It makes more sense. And actually... it makes more sense than one of the movies that we're going to be talking about here in just a minute. But have you ever dove into Halo lore before?
Not in any kind of serious way. I mean, I just know the basics. Like the Spartans were made to crush like an insurrection that was going on, and then they discovered the Covenant, so they were kind of shunted into fighting against the Covenant, and they got... Like the Covenant lore never made the most sense to me, but or at least they're like all the stuff with the different leadership in the Covenant, and they're trying to do the this prophets. Or that, or the right of this or that, and like I don't know, that stuff was never that like interesting to me. But the general lore, I think I'm acquainted with anyway.
Okay, well, I think that Halo right now, the Halo lore makes more sense than something like Star Wars right now, which is just having an absolute nightmare in terms of the last 5 or 6 years. One of the reasons that we're going to be talking about Star Wars in just a second is we are going to be releasing our results right now for our semifinal round of the greatest movie franchises of all time bracket that you, our faithful community, have voted upon. We're going to release those results in just 1 second, but I don't know if you also saw the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer dropped maybe last week for the new movie called The Mandalorian and Grogu. And I have to tell you, I could not be less excited for a Star Wars movie. I don't know what it is. It just
reeks of desperation.
Yeah.
It just reeks of like, we need something to save us, so we're going to count on like people loving Baby Yoda to like save Star Wars or get it back on track, or however you want to frame it. Like I have so little, like, I mean, I didn't watch The Mandalorian, so I have like negative interest in that movie. But like for even people who did, my understanding is the show didn't end that strong. Nope. So like, I don't even know how much interest there would be in it. Like, is Baby Yoda going to be enough to get a bunch of people to come see it? Like, I don't think so. That seems like a weird decision to me. But
yeah, 2 hours of an animatronic puppet, animatronic Yoda walking around with Pedro Pascal with a helmet on, like. I don't know, man. I don't necessarily know that you want to follow up the travesty of the sequel trilogy with that in the movie theaters, but c'est la vie. They need to start printing money again. They need to crank the Star Wars dial. Speaking of Star Wars, this has been just a long way of saying we're going to release the results. In our very first matchup, we had The Matrix versus Star Wars. And overwhelmingly, people voted that Star Wars, the quadrilogy, nonilogy of Star Wars is better than the one movie of The Matrix. And congratulations, Matrix. You had a good run.
Had It had a good run. I mean, for one movie to drag the corpse of that franchise all the way to the semifinals is like impressive. Like,
Oh boy, that is a heck of a way of putting it. The corpse of that movie franchise. Yes.
I mean, you made one. There was one good movie, and then the rest of that franchise was nothing. And so that one movie, like, was just carrying all the dead weight of the rest of that franchise all the
Yeah.
way to the semifinals. So, like, shows you the power of what one film can do,
Yeah.
what one movie can do.
Yeah.
So, hey.
And and Keanu Reeves, obviously the Keanu power, I think right now is pretty high in the
For
nerd
sure.
community, and always has been, but particularly within the last 8 or 9 years, Cyberpunk, John Wick, Keanu
John
kind of
Wick,
being
yeah.
sad Keanu type thing. I think it's been great, him kissing the camera. So Star Wars moves on, and Star Wars is going to be facing. Let's see who start. Well, that was the complete. I'm going to cut that out. And Star Wars is going to be facing, I think we called it, Lord of the Rings demolishing Harry Potter. And this is no surprise.
It's the closest matchup it's been a part of.
It's true.
This is maybe the first time Lord of the Rings has gotten less than 90% of the vote. Maybe less than 4% of the vote.
Very true.
It's like despite how lopsided this is a good showing from Harry Potter, genuinely. Compared to how everything else did against Lord of the Rings, it did okay. So
very true. Not saying much, but yeah,
not saying much at all.
I think it's fascinating that in our community, the community that voted out of 31 votes, that we had 7 people that really thought that Harry Potter was better than Lord of the Rings. And I don't know if they're just being curmudgeons. I don't know what that is, but it's definitely something. Can you pinpoint that?
Oh, I mean, it's just like the Lord of the Rings movies are awesome, but like, there's definitely people who are just not that into them. Like, I remember even when I went to see the first one, like originally when it was in theaters. So, I was like 14 or whatever I was when that movie came out. I went to see it with a buddy, and he just couldn't care less. Like, he wasn't into it at all because he found it confusing. He didn't get the names, like, and he hadn't read the books, and he just didn't care. And yeah, we have a fairly nerdy community, and there's a lot of love for Lord of the Rings, but people grew up on Harry Potter, man. Like, there's a lot of people of a certain age who just grew up on it. They have a lot of affection for the films. It's not as bulletproof in terms of the movies as Lord of the Rings is, where all 3 are great, but it's a pretty, like, they're all pretty solid with Harry Potter. So, the movies are good. People grew up with them. They have a lot of affinity for the franchise. So I get it. I'm not like, I understand why people might be more attached to it, as good as Lord of the Rings is. So it's okay.
Yeah. Well, that obviously leads into a matchup between 2 Titans. I think we called these Titans at the very beginning. And if we didn't, then we should have. But the greatest movie franchise bracket comes down to Star Wars versus Lord of the Rings. And I initially, when I put this forth and I said it's going to be these 2, I started to think, like, which one would I actually vote for? Which one is the best franchise? And I think out of even the shade that we were throwing at Star Wars, I think Star Wars on the whole has greater cultural impact. But as an entirety of a movie package, I think The Lord of the Rings is better. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is an easy clap for me. Like, this is easy work for Lord of the Rings. Like, there's nothing here for me from Star Wars.
Okay.
not to be anticlimactic in the finals.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Where it's supposed to be some, like, big existential crisis of which one you're going to pick. If we're talking movie franchises, this is an easy Lord of the Rings for me. It's not even remotely close. I would take any of the Lord of the Rings movies over every single Star Wars movie without even a hesitation. Like, it's not even close. Like, even Empire, I don't care. Like, every Lord of the Rings movie is better than Empire for me. So, like, for me, this isn't even remotely close. Now, if we were talking overall, like, franchise in the sense of you kind of were suggesting there of, like, and count everything. Like we're taking the books, we're taking the shows, we're taking the
games,
we're taking like cultural impact and discussion, and like then it becomes a more interesting discussion. Probably I would probably still take Lord of the Rings because I'm a bit of a Star Wars hater, I admit it. But then like whatever, I admit it, like it's well established at this point. But that there's more of a discussion there. I think like there would be some back and forth. If we're just talking about the movies, then this is like the Lord of the Rings movies are iconic. It often gets said, but I genuinely think it's one of those cases where like this isn't probably going to happen again. Like I just don't know, like to have it just so well executed. Like the books are beloved, the movies are beloved, where like, you know, and people had their complaints when the movies were coming out, like, oh, where's Tom Bombadil and all this stuff. But like no one really cares that much anymore.
No.
I think it's just generally accepted that like this is pretty much as good as it gets in terms of adaptation to film from anything really. So I think movie franchises, I have to go the Lord of the Rings. I have, like, to me there isn't a question.
I agree. I think I agree, and that's why I'm going to vote for the Lord of the Rings. But this is like a 49-51% type thing to me. If for no other reason than the Star Wars does, you know, Lord of the Rings has 3 just nonstop amazing movies, but each one of those movies is probably 2 movies combined, in terms of length, in terms of content, in terms of, you know, even especially Return of the King, like that's almost 3 movies.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking almost 4 hours, right? So it's it's a lot.
And again, like I will willingly sit through and gladly sit through them once a year, like we do, and watch the extended versions of them like we do as a family. And that comes around every year like Christmas comes around. But Star Wars to me was like my first introduction to nerddom. And that's why I say like this is a little bit closer. Like I remember my first Star Wars when I was 7 years old. I remember getting the box set of the VHS tapes when I was 8 for Christmas. Like, you know, I remember those things. And I remember wearing out A New Hope and Empire, and always skipped Return of the Jedi because I didn't really like it at the time, and I still don't know if I really like it that much. But I wore those other 2 out, and so like, you know, that was my introduction. I think overall Lord of the Rings is much better. So I'm gonna hit finish survey. And you, my friends, will get to vote on this very, very easy question for some of you, and maybe more difficult question for others. The link is going to be in the doodly-doos below. We will also be sharing this in our Discord. If you have not joined our Discord yet, then what the heck are you doing? There's also a link in the doodly-doos below. You can hang out with a bunch of awesome people like myself and Templar over there, and we can make fun of movies and TV shows. But we're going to be recording another episode in just a few minutes, and we're going to be talking about the NFL. If you don't like sports ball, I apologize. Just do us a favor and watch both of them. Just even mute it and just watch it all the way to the end, because it really does help our algorithm. We've been popping off a little bit. Our channel's been popping off because of a couple videos, and so we thank everybody for watching. But until next time, Templar for Templar, anything else you want to add before I hit the old finish button here?
No, I'm good, and I think we got it. Made it to the finals. Exciting. I'm glad we got here. Thank you everyone who's voted so far. Please jump in, vote on the finale here, and then make some suggestions if you'd like, either in the Discord or in the comments of the video, on maybe a bracket you'd like to see done in the future. Something. We're always thinking about them. We've scaled them back a little bit. We're not going to be doing them as regularly, but we enjoy them, and so there's always, you know, we're always looking for something that might pique our community's interest or pique the interest of others around. So feel free to make some suggestions, and thanks everyone who's voted so far.
Thanks for that, Templar. Until then, until the next video, we love you guys. We'll see you next time. Ta-ta.